what happened. In 70 AD, Emperor Hadrian invaded into what was called then Judea. And when the Romans conquered the Jewish people, they did not want that land to be called Judea. They changed it to Palestine. If you want to free Palestine, you give it back to the people who had it in the first place, the Jewish people. The nation of Israel has been in diaspora for too long. This is their land.
My dear friends, my holy brothers and my holy sisters, dear brothers, A-lmighty Himself, Am Kedoshim. When I was addressing a few days ago a large group of students in the United States, in Vermont, the question was asked to me, why do so many of you oppose halting the construction of Jewish homes in different territories if it may contribute even a little bit to peace? So I asked the students, I said, let me be open with you and ask you a simple question. As we say in our jargon, whichever way you look at it, it doesn't make sense. If the peace you're looking for is what? They said we're looking for the creation of a democratic Palestinian state nearby the state of Israel. So I asked the students, if that's the case, why can't Jews build homes in a democratic Palestinian state? Who ever heard of a democracy that doesn't allow one nationality to build homes there? Would anybody imagine that the United States would say that in Burlington, Vermont, the Japanese are forbidden to build homes? Who ever heard of such a democracy? That President Obama wants to help create a democracy in which not a single Jew is allowed to live. That's democracy. That's a shameful democracy. In almost every place in the world, a Jew today is allowed to live. In almost every place in the world, a Jew today is allowed to build a home. In almost every place in the world, a Jew is welcome to settle. There's only one country in the world where many Jews are not allowed to settle. Which country? The land of Israel. So the student responded and said, I guess it's not such a democratic state they're looking for. So I told him, exactly. Do you think it is logical for the Jewish people, for Israel, to help create a state which is not interested in a true democracy, but which the objective is not to live side by side with Israel? Its ultimate objective is to replace the state of Israel. Its ultimate objective is to use it as a ground from where innocent Jewish and Arab life will be in danger. Don't you know the lessons of what happened during the last 2 decades? Every single time Israel ceded territory for the objective of peace, what was the result of it? That territory became a hell on earth. That territory became a breeding ground from where suicide bombers and rockets were dispatched and launched to claim the innocent lives of hundreds and thousands of innocent women, men, and children, maiming thousands for life. This is the peace you're looking for? Does the word peace not mean to enhance people's lives? Are you so blind to define peace as something that will enhance and increase bloodshed? Is that the peace you're looking for? Why doesn't the President of the United States, why don't academics and journalists and politicians take on another front and say, let us look at what the educational curriculum is in the Arab community. As long as the educational curriculum in schools, in mosques, and imams are not challenged, as long as little children are educated that Jews are the devil, as long as infants are nursing their mother's milk, and in that milk they're absorbing venomous hatred to the Jewish people, do you think giving away a block, a territory, a city can help peace when children in the hundreds and thousands are indoctrinated that Jews represent the devil? But no one speaks about education. No one speaks about the curriculums. No one speaks about the speeches and the sermons. Everybody knows that the Jewish people crave peace, want peace, desire peace. And if the other side is ready for peace, there will be peace, not tomorrow morning, but tonight. But a peace which will only help terrorists continue to slaughter innocent lives. That's a peace that every moral person, that every good person, Jew or non-Jew, must abhor. To you, my dear brothers and sisters, those who live in Yehuda, those who live in Shomron, those who live in the land of Eretz Yisrael, let us say tonight, Chazak, Chazak, v'nischazek. Enough to limping, enough to stuttering, enough to false compromises, enough to fake peace. Let our entire nation unite and speak clearly to the world and say, this is one land that the Creator of the world, billions of non-Jews believe in the Bible. Open the Bible and you'll see that this is a land that the Creator of the world gave as an eternal gift to one nation. The Prime Minister ought to turn to the President of the U.S. and say, Mr. President, your intentions may be beautiful, but look in the Bible. God gave this land to this nation. I would love to give it to you or to anybody else, but I can't. It's not mine to give away. It's the divine gift to the Jewish people forever and ever. Thank you very much.
It is not time for appeasement. It is not time for negotiation. It is not time for compromise. Every time we give them land, they want more. Every commission decision, from the 1937 Peel Commission all the way to the Oslo Accords, and just recently when Benjamin Netanyahu said, we will suspend settlements for 10 months, they said it's still not enough. You're dealing with an enemy that only wants one thing, and that is a return of the Holocaust. That's not happening as long as I have breath in my lungs. There will never be anything other than the nation of Israel that occupies these boundaries that are set in the words here that we have in the Bible and the Torah. Educate yourselves and let everyone understand that everyone over there the land belongs to the Jewish people. And it was theirs. It was taken from them by the Romans in 70 A.D. You want to do what's right? Give it back to the Jewish people. God bless you all and thank you.
Is there really a desire for peace on the part of Israel's enemies, which broadcast after broadcast on TV and radio in the Palestinian areas is about how Jews should be killed and how Allah wants Jews to be killed? That's the typical broadcast on Palestinian television. And so it's not hard to explain the Middle East dispute. One side wants the other dead. You know what the motto of Hamas is? The motto of Hamas is, we love death as much as the Jews love life. Now you tell me, how is Israel supposed to make peace when people believe what Hamas believes? Now here is one of the most important things nobody talks about. Everybody talks about a Palestinian state. Why didn't anybody talk about a Palestinian state while the Palestinians lived under Jordanian rule? Never in the history of the world, a state in that area, in what is called geographically Palestine, that was not Jewish. Israel.
Because I want to tell you why there will always be an Israel. And if you go to Numbers chapter 34, it says, Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel and say to them, when you come into the land of Canaan, this is the land that shall fall to you as an inheritance, the land of Canaan to its boundaries. Your southern border shall be from the wilderness of Zin along the border of Edom. Then your southern border shall extend eastward to the end of the Salt Sea. Your border shall turn from the southern side of the ascent of Akrabim, continue to Zin, and be on the south of the Kadesh Barnea. Then it shall go to Hazar Adar and continue to Asmon. The border shall then turn from Asmon to the brook of Egypt, and it shall end at the sea. As for the western border, you shall have the great sea for a border, and this shall be your western border. And this shall be your northern border. From the great sea you shall mark out your borderline to Mount Hor. From Mount Hor you shall mark out your border to the entrance of Hamath. Then the direction of the border shall be towards Zedad. The border shall proceed to Zephron, and it shall end at Hazar Enan. This shall be your northern border. You shall mark out your eastern border from Hazar Enan to Sepham. The border shall go down from Sepham to Riblah on the east side of the Ain. To the border shall go down and reach to the eastern side of the sea to Chinnereth. The border shall go down along the Jordan, and it shall end at the Salt Sea. This shall be your land with its surrounding boundaries.